Welcome back to the show, everybody. Who's ready for a new all-time high for XRP price? I know I am. And while we're waiting for that to come in, and hopefully before or by the end of this year, fingers crossed, fingers and toes, matter of fact, let's take a look at some information that came in today that may show us how we get to 4 and 5 digits. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get a look at it. 2.30 is where we are, flat almost, for the cryptocurrency market cap, and we will keep an eye on it. Right now, let's just look at XRP prices. We have a lot to look at today. We are back at $1.10 this morning, so we will keep an eye on that price. But let's go ahead and get started with the news here. By the dip signal, this is a little clip of JP Morgan saying that Bitcoin is worthless, almost as bad as smoking cigarettes. Take a listen to this really quickly.
Welcome back to Fast Money. Check out Bitcoin hitting a fresh 5-month high today, topping 57,000 for the first time since May. It's now just about 11% away from its all-time high, but not everyone is convinced by this breakout. Listen to what JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said about Bitcoin earlier today.
I personally think that Bitcoin is worthless.
You don't need to hear any more. He compares it to cigarettes. That's it. I just wanted you to hear him say it again, because it sounds like to me, when I hear him talking this way, they must be going through a massive accumulation phase again. That, by definition, would be, if they are doing that, would be what everyone refers to as talking your book. Let's go ahead and look at this right here. Brian Quintez, formerly of the CFTC, who made little to no rumblings at all, maybe 2 tweets, about the fact that the SEC was trying to power grab the entire digital asset space, but nevertheless, he's made his way over to Andreessen and Horowitz, cashing in the private sector. Nothing wrong with that. Lots of people do it. There are 2 fundamental kinds of activities, those that add value and those that extract value. Let's hope and work to make sure the U.S. government decides to add value to what crypto could become, as opposed to extracting value from what crypto currently is. Not bad little statement there. Shout out to Brian. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure they're taking care of you over there. Valente Technologies, MDSL, to modernize payments in Egypt. This is a reminder here from Matthew Liney that Valente is an XRP integrated settlement platform. And it gets better in just a second here. I want to take you on memory lane for a second, because it is very important to go back down the road at times and look at information we've seen in the past, because something will happen and come out today, as it has done yesterday, to force us to take a look back and realize just how incredible this could really be for Ripple and XRP. This is the EBA clearing from Bank XRP all the way back in 2018, so stay with me. European Banking Association Clearing is a provider of pan-European payment infrastructure wholly owned by shareholders that consist of major European banks. Shout out to Bank XRP on this information. EBA is clearing instant payments in November 2017. European Banking Association Clearing launched RT1, an infrastructure solution for processing of instant SEPA credit transfers at a pan-European level. The payment system operates around the clock on any day of the year. So really quickly, the level set here, right? We're seeing how far back this has been going on. And I'm about to show you a document from 2015 based on news that came out yesterday. We need to take a look at, and I believe it is absolutely paramount to the use of Ripple and XRP, and showing all of us that it is a great possibility that we may be right. We may be right, and I believe that we are, not financial advice. This is also another post of a transaction that had taken place, and if you come down here and look at the bottom, sending this transaction consumed 0.000012 XRP. So as far back as 2014, 2015, they were working with the XRP ledger and the token. Let's be clear about that before we look at this current information from today. EBA Clearing, SWIFT, and the Clearinghouse, which is TCH, test instant cross-border payments, which obviously I've just shown you they've been doing for years. But let's take a look at this very quickly before we get on to this information that you're going to want to see. Banks from both sides of the Atlantic have successfully exchanged real-time cross-border payments messages as a part of the proof of concept trial conducted with SWIFT, EBA Clearing, and the Clearinghouse. Now, this is big stuff. The POC proof of concept was performed as a part of a new initiative dubbed Immediate Cross-Border Payments, IXB. That demonstrates the ability to synchronize settlement in one domestic instant payment system with settlement in other and convert real-time messages between both systems. Just listen to the size of these banks here. 11 global banks contributed to the design, with 7 banks, Bank of America, BBVA Group, Citi, HSBC, Intesa, JP Morgan, and PNC Bank, which is a huge Ripple partner as well. We see participating in the proof of concept where the bank successfully exchanged payments and confirmation of receipt messages. It goes on to talk about the Financial Stability Board, the October 20 roadmap, which we have covered extensively here. We also see that it talks about real-time payments network in the United States and the EBA's clearing through RT1 in Europe, alongside of the ISO 20022 messaging format, for which we already know Ripple is a member on the standards body committee focused on distributed ledger technology. We also know that the Fed is using ISO technology as well, right? ISO 2022. Well, guess what? This is a PDF on crypto technologies from the EBA that just told us today that they're test piloting cross-border payments that I just proved to you they've been doing for years. This is from 2015. Ripple and the mention of their native asset to their ledger that they use is all through this document. I'm going to take you through a few strong points in here very quickly. So let's take a look at it here. One is a diagram right here where it breaks down the 4 different categories that they're taking a look at here. This paper describes 4 different actual use cases. 1, foreign exchange remittance, real-time payments, documentary trade, and asset servicing. Pay very close attention as we move through this material. It is so powerful. Showing right here, Stellar, Ripple, and you can see down below, Litecoin, Bitcoin. It shows all these other different things, right? But this says asset centric. Keep your eye on the ball on that. This shows application stack. Codius, we know, is tied into Ripple as well, right? Ethereum is showing here. Eris. Stay with me. Okay, now let's move to here. Page 9. I'm going to read you asset-centric technologies because that is the category Ripple and Stellar fall in. Asset-centric technologies such as Ripple, Stellar, and Hyperledger focus on the exchange of digital representations of existing assets, albeit currencies, metals, stocks, bonds, etc. All the money in combination with a shared ledger, but not on a public ledger. Trust is organized between participants directly, so not through a blockchain and mining as is the case with Bitcoin. Now, let's continue on. This entire section here deals with Fidor Bank from Germany. Now, we do know that years ago we did cover a bank in Germany and in Canada doing a cross-border transaction together. Okay, this goes much deeper into the process of why it could be a potential benefit to cross-border payments and settlement of every angle. Since 2014, Fidor Bank from Germany has been offering its customers instant Euro to USD FX transactions at a low cost by implementing open source internet-based settlement technology from Ripple Labs. In addition to potential benefits, a distributed consensus ledger discusses the above-mentioned section, and it talks here about trust lines. For particular legal reasons, the type of open participation provided by networks such as Bitcoin is often not seen as suitable option for payment service providers, PSPs. The Ripple framework addresses this issue by allowing PSPs to create exclusive trading relationships with other PSPs. For instance, Fidor has a trust relationship with US-based PSP, and another nascent consensus-based application called Hyperledger addresses this issue by creating exclusive exchange pools with customized rules. It goes on to talk about in the Ripple framework here, FX exchange traders are added to a network third parties, and it goes on to talk about how that can serve that particular market. It goes on here to talk about an intermediary asset, right? Well, this is where it talks about Ripple makes use of an intermediary asset. They're referencing XRP that can be used in these types of transactions because of the use of an intermediary currency, they call it. There only needs to be a liquidity in the market between the two currencies. So for that particular transaction. It goes on to talk about KYC and AML, which we know that absolutely XRP is and RippleNet is. It talks about remittance here. It goes through this and it says Bitcoin network accessible phones that have only text SMS functionality by sending a text message to a local smartphone triggers the running of the 37 Coins Gateway application functionality there. But let me move now to, I think it's page 14. And I'm skipping over the incredible, this entire report is incredible. So page 14, real-time payments implementing a crypto technology network at an international inter-payment service provider level. Here it goes in again, and you can see the mention of the use of Ripple for FX transaction by Fidor Bank. You see even over here, if a group of payment service providers and their payment infrastructure provider decide to create a trusted crypto technology network leveraging an asset-centric framework like Ripple and launch a digital asset all parties agree upon as being representative of the same liability, then this network could be used for the execution of inter-payment service provider payments. It's basically suggesting, I believe it's suggesting there, use of the XRP ledger and the XRP token, and everybody to agree on that would really be able to make all of these systems interoperable and work as one smooth, ubiquitous experience. Okay, let me keep going here because now we're going into page 18 here where we talk about asset servicing of debt lending assets. Now, all of this I'm sharing with you is from 2015, but it's based on the news that came out today that they're saying they just started test piloting it. But before I showed you today's news, I showed you from Bank XRP, they've been settling transactions for years. Okay, here we go. So here it talks about asset servicing of direct lending of direct lending assets. It says we've already discussed the benefit of crypto technologies in addressing the general complexities of asset servicing in broader terms. By looking at an application of crypto technology by a company called Tillit, see figure 9, which is this one right here, which shows trading, balancing, settlement, asset creation, right? You see the whole thing. But coming back to this section here, asset creation from any asset class, including currencies, can be created on the network in a condition the trading parties are in agreement and that they are properly backed. Well, that's what we're talking about now. If you just think about stable coins, asset trading can be traded on the network with a minimal transaction fee and so-called atomic transactions. Transactions are either executed or not, so no fund gets lost in transit. We know that really sounds like the XRP ledger as well. Enhanced liquidity can also achieve by means of making use of Ripple's native asset. They're talking XRP there, baby, as an intermediary trading asset and combining this with optimized routing of transactions. And as far as settlement, the network can also host currency assets that back the tradable assets. This enables real-time gross settlement, typically refers to an inter-payment service provider central bank situation. You remember the document at the World Economic Forum showing JPM coin and XRP for inter and intra-bank settlement. Balances here are recorded on an undisputable decentralized ledger where positions on the ledger are constantly netted. Now, that also reminds me of the XRP ledger as well. Let me bring you now to page 22 for the conclusion of the EBA. And I want to remind you, let's refresh here, right? Let's just refresh very quickly here, because I want to remind you that this is them saying that they today, or yesterday, EBA clearing and SWIFT, TCH, test instant cross-border payments. We know it's been going on, but they say it yesterday. Right? Here's the conclusion from 2015. Currently, asset-centric developments are potentially the most interesting crypto technology related category for transacting or transaction banking and the payments industry. So what they just said was our conclusion in 2015 to the news that they're acting on today, I bet you, and that part's speculation, is that asset-centric is the strongest area where crypto technology can serve the banking and payment industry. And look which two are sitting in that. Not financial advice, but am I glad that I own both of those? You're damn right I am. This is pretty damn compelling stuff. This is also from August 4th this year, this past summer. It's a reminder that Cindy Young, who, by the way, is the managing director of the EU for Ripple, right? Keep them, remember that, right? And they're talking here about Ripple's blueprint to modernize European payments infrastructure from just past summer, just a few months ago. Young will be charged with championing the expansion of the firm's blockchain-based RippleNet network among European Union institutions. And again, the news is the EBA clearing and SWIFT and TCH, the clearing house, test instant cross-border payments. You know, do we know for sure? No, we don't. But I'll tell you this, it looks pretty damn good to me. And if I think about what it would take for banks to be able to use something like this, we've talked here on the channel about the idea of the Reeves test. I think we've proven well in a way that the Howey test is a bust when it comes to XRP, the asset. But however, XRP could become a note by legal definition. And if it does not mean that it has to be a security. It could be, but it doesn't have to. And if it works as a note, notes can be used as currency. And that would also mean that it would not challenge the legal tender status of the government dollars from around the world if it worked simply as a note. You know, this gets more interesting here by the day as we move through this material. I hope in some way we've really gotten everybody's attention today on this material, because I believe that Ripple and XRP and the XRP ledger are so very important that they are a keystone to the new financial world that we will be moving to, whether it be wholesale back end for central banks or whether we're talking about the internet value that you and I can send money back and forth just like an email. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and leave a comment below. I'm interested to see your comments on this one. And also check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. Ledger Nano, great deals. Pure VPN, hide your identity online, great deals. Unstoppable Domain, they got massive connection to wallets now with all of their domains to be able to move that money like emails without giving out all your banking information. So make sure you check that out and more. And I'll catch all of you on the next one.